From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
A Montana State Senate leader who was stopped for speeding tried to use his position to get out of that ticket. What it's leading to, coming up. And the Alder Creek wildfire near Wise River, southwest of Butte, rises to one of the top priority fires in the nation. Coming up, we'll show you why. Time, a live look to the sky above the Montana State University campus this morning.
It's beautiful this morning at sunrise.
We'll go on the bright spot. The smoke has been a challenge, the dry and the heat, but it does give us some beautiful sunrises.
It does.
And sunsets.
The colors are fabulous. Yeah. The breathing, that's sort of important, not so great.
Well, very important, a little challenging.
Temperatures this morning into the 50s. We've had some 60s, and we've had some rain at times this morning, mainly before the sun was heading over the horizon. Those showers continue to march off to the east, really looking pretty dry for the first half of the day. The afternoon, after about 1 o'clock, start to see some clouds and thunder showers. It looks like that's going to kind of move its way through, especially east of the divide, but a few areas west of the divide may see a spotty shower as well. It is going to be a hot one. There's that sunrise. Man, that is just beautiful. Absolutely. Why don't we skip the rest of the news segment? We'll just watch that.
That's much more positive.
Complete silence. That won't happen. Temperature right around the 90-degree mark for today. It does look like we'll see some passing showers. I'm going to break it all down for you in just a little bit.
All right. Thank you, Matt. 6:31. Our top news story this half hour. A top Republican state senator being charged with obstructing a peace officer after a highway traffic stop. The charges say Jason Ellsworth of Hamilton tried to avoid a ticket or arrest by citing his status as a legislator. TN's Mike Dennison picks up the story.
Ellsworth was stopped on Highway 287 just south of Townsend at about 10:20 p.m. on Sunday, May 23rd, after a state trooper clocked him at 88 miles per hour in a construction zone where the posted limit was 55. He's being charged with speeding in a construction zone, reckless driving, and obstructing a peace officer, all misdemeanors. The officer had planned to give him a warning, but said Ellsworth got out of his car, approached her, and started citing the state constitution, saying he was exempt from arrest because he was a legislator going to a legislative session the next day. The trooper ordered him back to his vehicle several times before he complied, and Ellsworth allegedly asked if she wanted him to call the state attorney general. Attorney General Austin Knudsen said in a statement Tuesday that Ellsworth's actions were inappropriate and that the patrol officer acted professionally. The state constitution says legislators are exempt from arrest during sessions of the legislature unless they're involved in a felony or breach of the peace. Ellsworth was driving to Helena, where he planned to attend a meeting of the Legislative Council the next day. The legislature was not in regular session at that time. Ellsworth declined to talk to MTN News Wednesday. A spokesman for the GOP Senate majority said Ellsworth tried to call the patrol officer afterwards to apologize if he came off as unprofessional, which was not his intent. Ellsworth is the president pro tem of the current Montana Senate. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Mike tells us Ellsworth scheduled to appear August 3rd in Broadwater County Justice Court, that's in Townsend. Senate President Mark Blaisdell of Kalispell said he would have no comment on the incident while that case is still pending. Well, the body of a female drowning victim has been discovered in the Stillwater River near Jeffrey's Landing fishing access. Stillwater County Sheriff Chip Kem says searchers found the body Tuesday after someone had noticed it hung up on a shallow portion of the river channel. The woman in her 30s is not from Stillwater County, and Kem says she had likely only been in the water a few hours. An autopsy has determined the cause of death to be drowning, but an investigation into the incident is ongoing. Now, anyone with information asked to call the Stillwater County Sheriff's Office, 406-322-5326. Well, right now, nearly 20 different large wildland fires are burning across Montana, many of them in our viewing area. 1,500 fire starts also recorded since the 1st of January, with 500 this month, and around 200,000 acres burned total. Now, yesterday, Montana Governor Greg Gianforte met with fire management leaders at the Department of Natural Resources and Conservation as their crews say the Northern Rockies region, now the #1 priority region in the country. So far, officials estimate nearly $8.9 million from the state's fire suppression fund have been spent fighting fires. How about a few updates? The Alder Creek fire, which continues to burn at more than 5,600 acres, also made the governor's briefing, with a fire official calling that specific fire the #1 priority individual fire in the nation. Fire leaders say that's because the fire is threatening structures in the Beaverhead Deer Lodge National Forest. According to crews, that fire could be threatening as many as 146 structures along Highway 43 within the next 72 hours. Evacuations are still in place near Wise River. That fire just 3% contained. South of Ennis, the Goose Fire grew another 1,000 plus acres, breaching the 7,000 acre mark. But crews say the fire got some rain yesterday. Fire officials say lightning started that fire, but crews were able to mop up hot spots north and east and south of the fire. Containment rose from 34 to 42%. There are more than 300 people working on that blaze. That was a lightning-caused fire, first reported back on July 1st. Now, the American Fork Fire in the Crazy Mountains has grown to more than 8,300 acres. The American Fork and O'Hearn Creek fires combined on Tuesday. After the American Fork Fire saw 2 days of rapid growth, there are trail closures and an area closure coming for parts of the Custer-Gallatin National Forest on that blaze. Also, the Trail Creek Fire west of Wisdom now holding at more than 23,800 acres. Fire officials say crews explored options for building indirect containment lines and protecting cabins and sites at the National Park Service Big Hole Battlefield. Highway 43 has been opened and closed off and on depending on fire activity on that one. The Black Mountain Fire, which started last week at 13 miles south of Jackson, has grown to 946 acres. Crews are removing smaller trees along the Selway Creek to improve holding lines for that blaze. It's still 0% contained. And the Christensen Fire has grown to 210 acres. It's 12 miles west of Wise River. Crews say rain from recent storms has helped dampen that blaze. Still, fire officials say they are concerned this fire could spread in all directions, and it does have the potential for some large growth. In other headlines this morning now, the state's largest electric utility will buy 80 megawatts of electricity from a new solar power project near Dillon. Northwestern Energy says it has entered into a power purchase agreement with Apex Solar. The agreement says the company will start delivering power from the Dillon area project to Northwestern beginning in November of next year. Northwestern serves about 388,000 customers throughout Montana. It says the Apex deal will be the second major solar power contract the company has arranged to help serve customers in Montana. The other one, an 80 megawatt project by MT Sun. That one's in Yellowstone County. That installation is scheduled to start supplying electricity in January of next year. The new contract is arranged under a law meant to encourage the development of small, independent, renewable power projects. Well, are you thinking about a COVID booster shot? More than 60% of vaccinated Americans say they would get a COVID booster shot if it were available to them. That's according to a recent poll from Yahoo News and YouGov. It comes as more contagious Delta variant spreads throughout the country. Although the booster shot may be possible in the future, World Health Organization's chief scientist strongly warns against seeking one out on your own. There are still many unknowns about the safety and efficacy of it. Doctors we spoke with agree.
I think we have to do what we've done all along with these COVID vaccines, which is that we have to base it on the science. And we have to do the studies, we have to do the trials.
There are also situations with other vaccines where more and more doses actually decrease the efficacy. It's not likely to be the case, but we need the information.
Now, Dr. Dorn also stresses that basing the need for a booster shot solely off antibody levels doesn't tell the full picture. There's much more to how our immune systems work. There are also ethical implications to getting a booster shot in the U.S. right now. CDC says 56% of the total population has received at least one dose of the vaccine.
In developing countries and low-income countries, we still haven't gotten a first dose to healthcare workers and other providers.
I actually think it's better for us. We are safer if we make the rest of the world safe first before we start to make ourselves totally bulletproof.
Now, both doctors say the same logic applies to the large portion of the U.S. population that has not yet been vaccinated. The more people who get the vaccine, the safer we'll all be from that virus. 6:39, we're going to take a break. When we come back, will kids have to wear face masks to school in the fall? After the break, what the president and scientists are saying as COVID cases begin to spike. But first, here's Gail King with a look at what's coming up at 7 o'clock.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS This Morning, President Biden says children under 12 could be eligible to get that COVID vaccine very soon. We'll talk to Dr. David Agus about that, about the Delta variant's threat to kids. Also, on the eve of the Olympic opening ceremony, there are new rules about protests by athletes that are coming under scrutiny today. Hear from a man whose raised fist at the Olympics changed history back in the day. And Brandi Carlile is out with a new single, and she's here. The Grammy Award winner joins us at the table to talk about going back on the road and how her own story inspired her new music. You could kind of say she's right on time. Get it? We'll see you at 7 o'clock, straight out.